Hello, everybody. Welcome to the basement. Welcome to this Saturday night stream. Hope you guys had a good latter half of your week. And I hope you're ready to go over some dope, nerdy shit. That's what's happening. As I hope and pray it usually does. At least I hope that's what you guys think. Anyway, so we've got all kinds of stuff that James Gunn revealed to Joshua Horowitz on the Happy Sad Confused podcast. We're gonna quotes from that. We're going ham on the Twitter, so we're just gonna dive right into the actual interview itself. And then Marvel showing some confidence, dropping the social media embargo last night. We're gonna go over some early reviews for the Fantastic Four, and I'm gonna talk about them, decide if they mean a fucking thing. So, fill your cup and light your smoke. It's a Saturday night. We're in the basement, and it's time to get nerdy. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Saturday night here in the basement. I am so happy you're here. We have some fun shiznit to talk about tonight, y'all. Prez, hope you're still in here. What up, man? Rook, my man, Rob. Come to think of it, the only person in my life outside of my family, the one person outside of my family who's put up with me the longest. Yep. Psychotic motherfucker. I love you, man. How's everyone doing? You doing okay? Like, I'm gonna be honest. I had an urge to imbibe a little Fireball. I went to the stove. I made some Fireball. And you know, I think I just figured out, like, right before I turned the camera on, why I very much wanted some Fireball tonight. And this probably isn't all of it. There's, like, a lot more to it. Like, really? There's a lot more to it. But, at least one part of it is the fact that I realized that a reasonably decent portion of tonight's stream is going to involve listening to James Gunn talk. Yeah. So I think that subconsciously may have been part of it. Like, 'cause I've known for a hot minute, well, since yesterday when all these quotes started popping up from this fucking interview. I was like, you know, I could scroll through these quotes and all that shit, or you can just watch the fucking interview and break it down that way. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to watch the interview of James Gunn by Josh Horowitz on the Happy Sad podcast. Happy Sad Confused podcast. Let me get it right. Toasting marshmallow on the stove kind of weeks, right? I feel that. So yeah, but he let a bunch of shit drop. That's why these quotes were blowing up all over Twitter. So we're gonna go through it. We're gonna probably fast forward through some of it, or I hope he's got like chapters on that bitch or something, but we'll see how it goes. Either way, we'll find out stuff that we didn't know before, and that's cool. And then of course, Marvel, in kind of a baller move, dropped the social media embargo on Fantastic Four reviews last night. A full week ahead. And I'm not talking like those reviews from a few days back. Those were stellar. We talked about them on Wednesday. But those were just for the people that saw that the first 30 minutes in wherever the fuck they saw it at, Brazil or some shit. These reviews are from people who have seen the whole fucking final cut, all of it. Full movie. Not that assembly cut from a few months back, which was like the movie but looking like ass. And not the first 27 to 30 minutes, whatever the hell it was a couple weeks ago in South America, somewhere, Brazil. No, this is people who plunk their ass down in a theater up in the United States of America and watch the whole finished thing from beginning to end. So, we're going to talk about those, and we're going to decide how much, well, we're going to decide if they mean a fucking thing or not. Basically is what that boils down. So, and there's some other little things here and there that I'm going to talk about before we get into those bigger things. Those are the two big things. Those are the two big things. Those are the meat of the stream tonight. But of course, before we get into all that, hit the like, please. And if you have not done so yet, please also hit the subscribe button and the little bell looking motherfucker. Ding, ding, ding. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Yeah, hit all them buttons for me if you wouldn't mind. That'd be awesome. I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it a lot. Delta Dan, what's happening? So how we doing, guys? Rob's toasting marshmallows for like the past week, I guess it looks like. Superman doing great at the box office. Domestically, yes. Still less so internationally. But yeah, it is not crushing it. Let's be clear on that. However, just because I say it's not crushing it does not, despite the way most people think nowadays, if I say it's not crushing it, you fucking hate it. No. You think it's not doing good at all? No. It's just not crushing it. It's doing well. Not crushing it. Not awesome. Not magnificent. But it's doing well. So yeah. Yeah. What's been happening with y'all? Anything fun? Oh, my TV died the other day. Thursday. We finally got our couch and we plunked it down. And like Mrs. Chill and I have been talking about it all motherfucking day. Like the couch is coming in today. Come home from work, plop our ass down on the couch. We're gonna watch the fucking TV. We came to home, plopped our ass down on the couch, and then the TV was broken. Something got fucked up on the inside of it, and the volume got stuck at 100. Like anything you tried to do automatically went all the way to the right. Volume, all the way up. Menu, all the way to the right. And the father-in-law, who's mightily skilled in these regards with electronics and also computers and all kinds of fun shit. Like he knows things. He couldn't even figure it out. So Basically, if he couldn't figure it out, that's when you whip out the holy sand and call it a day. So we got a new TV today. It's pretty. I didn't realize we'd had that other TV for like 6 or 7 years. I mean, it. I never thought it didn't look good or anything, but when I had this TV home today and turned it on, I was like, "Damn, my TV was 7 years old." Hold it! Oh, chat, chat. I am not happy the old TV broke. That is not money I want to be spending right now to replace it. But on the other hand, my God, the picture on this one I just got today, it's a brand new TV. I mean, payments are being made. let's be real here. I didn't just walk into the store and go swipe and walk out. No, the payments. There are payments. Um, but yeah, this brand new TV. And that picture is crispy. Like, just to test it out. I mean, y'all seen Revenge of the Sith, right? Like, you familiar with that movie? You know, the beginning of that movie is practically just like a CGI orgy. Well, once I got the TV all working and plugged in and everything hooked up and shit, I went ahead and went on the old Disney Pluses and started Revenge of the Sith just for fun. And my God, that shit was so crispy. It damn near looked fake. You know how sometimes images look like they're like almost too hyper realistic to the point where they look fake. That was what I was seeing on the TV. It's like right over there. I mean, don't get me. I'm not complaining. It was just weird having a pic. I've never had a picture like that on a device I've owned. That's all I'm saying. And I'm happy about it. But yeah, I'm going to watch all kinds of like visually impactful shit on that TV. What were we watching? Expedition Unknown. You guys familiar with that? Discovery Channel / Discovery Plus. Josh Gates runs around the world looking at cool historical shit. You familiar with that shit? Well, anyway, it's just like your average, your average traveling around the world doing cool shit show, right? Not filmed like a movie or anything like that. But that was like insanely crispy. Like I'm super stoked about this TV. Yes, I am. Ooh, the sudden running of the nose, shit-tastic. But yeah, so it's the usual mixed bag you get with life. Brand new TV, super crispy picture that a level of which that I've never personally owned. But money I'd rather not be spending than having to be spent. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, guys, ready to get into some shit? Weird. Cool. What up, C-Dub? How you doing, my guy? All right. Rob got speed bag. Kevin, what's going on? DC gonna have to earn back the trust of the audience. Superman isn't gonna be enough. For the whole audience, no, he won't. It won't. But I think it's making a decent start, at least around here. When I say around here, I mean the U.S. of A. We like it. All right. The first thing I want to get into tonight is just like what the hell? Oh yeah, kind of self-indulgent. Little. I'm gonna admit, little self-indulgent. Go over. There we go. All right. It's just pure self-indulgence. This first little thing here, guys. But I don't know. Most of you, if not all of you, have probably seen this already. But anyway, uh, pretty sure most of you have seen this shit. I would imagine by now. But just in case, and again, I'm gonna be self-indulgent real quick. Y'all heard of Mortal Kombat? You heard of it? Game spawned a few movies, a lot of games. They're pretty fucking dope. You familiar? You know what I'm talking about? Well, they have a movie coming out this fall, Mortal Kombat 2, and there's a trailer, and it's a red band trailer, and we're gonna watch that motherfucker. Again, you've probably seen it, and I've seen it, and I don't care. We're gonna watch this motherfucker, and we're gonna chit chat about it for just a little bit. Here we go.
Uno mas, thanks.
You're Johnny Cage. I loved Citizen Cage when I was a kid.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
They should do a reboot.
Nobody wants that. Shit went out in the 90s.
Johnny Cage, you have been chosen to fight.
Tell me you're not some crazy fans. How are you doing that?
Are you coming or what?
Where the hell am I?
It's called Mortal Kombat. It's a fighting tournament. To the death.
Fuck that.
This is a war for the fate of your world.
You dickheads in or what?
I'm not some champion. I don't have transformer arms. Or shoot lightning bolts. This shit's got nothing to do with me. I'm an actor.
I find you annoying.
Not the face.
It's time to become the hero you were meant to be.
Oh,
All right, big ugly fine. It's showtime.
Get over here!
ooh, damn! He just ripped his soul right out of him. Fuck yeah, baby!
Where's him?
Are you kidding me? You don't have any powers? Just incredibly handsome.
Lotus, what up? Gotta love Raiden's fit. Fuck yeah, you do. Like I'm not like trying to do a whole fucking breakdown and shit of that trailer. I just want to like watch it again. And I could like October. What is it? October 24th, October 25th? Like bring it on. Like I'm there. I'm seated. Well, maybe not like that night, but yeah. Me, theater, that movie, fucking happening. What do you guys think? Did you guys like that? Well, did you like the Mortal Kombat movie that this is a sequel to? Like, what do you guys think? I'm stoked. I think it looks dope. Is there? I will say right now, there's some cheese to it. A little bit of cheese in there. A little cheesy in a couple spots. It's gonna be fun as hell. Not sure of the box office though. Oh, it probably ain't gonna make shit. I hope they didn't overspend. No, yeah, I would not bet on that thing like blowing up. I mean, it could happen. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying if they spent more than like 150, they may have issues. That's all I'm saying. The numbers are out. Probably not because it doesn't even come out till October. Otherwise, never wanted to talk about it. Really? Oh no shit. Okay. It might do okay then. According to the Googler Googles, or actually no, technically I guess this would be according to Microsoft Bingity Bingities. They only spent 68 million on that. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and say that's the usual Hollywood lowballing and basing it on whatever accounting they use to get away with saying that. But I mean, even if it's like even if it's like 85, 90, then they should that might actually make this movie might make money for them. It might do that well. Yeah, 68 million. It only has to make like fucking what? Well, round it up to 140. Yeah, only has to make 170 to break even at 68 million. So yeah, they're doing all right. Yep. This movie might actually turn a profit. I don't know how large a profit it'll be, but wow. Yeah, I just think it looks fun as fuck. And like not super duper corny. You know, still the same universal stakes as always, but in this case we get we get the trope of old washed warrior being called upon for humongous duty. But in this case, it's Carl Urban, so I'm fucking in. Billy Butcher's Johnny Cage. Like, I'm not gonna lie. When it first dropped that they cast Carl Urban as Johnny Cage for this, I was like, I mean, I dig me some. I like Carl Urban. Like, I'm a fan. I enjoy his work. But Johnny Cage, you win this one. That was my reaction first. I was like, what the fuck? Really? Okay. I don't like it on paper, but we'll see how it goes. And well, now we've seen this trailer, and I'm cool. I'm good. I like what they're doing with it. I like that we have the tournament. No, Rob, I mean, I pay money to see it in the theater, but I may not sacrifice an afternoon anytime soon to see it. Well, you wouldn't have to anytime soon. It doesn't come out till October 24th. You have literally 3 months. But 2 weeks after that, fucking Predator Badlands comes out. You know, I don't know if you guys realize this, but like while this month is like huge for nerds, there's still more to come for us this year. Like we're not done eating yet. Like so far as like the big names go, yeah, we got Jurassic World, Superman, and Fantastic Four all this month. Yes, very true. But this is not the end of the meal, my good nerds. Next month we get Alien Earth. October we get Mortal Kombat. November we get Predator Badlands. And there's still some Disney Plus Marvel shows to come out too. Excuse me. But yeah, the meal is not over, y'all. Like the main course, we're coming up on finishing the main course, but there's still like there's still dessert and shit, and then there's the midnight snack. There's more to come. We're not done. Yeah, I'm like very much down for this movie. I'm actually excited for this movie. I don't want to whip up the trailer for this, but have you guys seen the Tron Ares trailer? Like, what do you think about that? Does it being fucking Morbius like take you right out of it, just right there? The second you see his face, you're like, shitty vampire movie, shitty Marvel movie. Like, does that happen the second you see his face? Like, does it happen when you rewatch the Snyder cut, even when he's the Joker? Er, 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 er. You know, does it happen then still? I think poor Jared Leto, at least for a lot of us, is now permanently Morbius, and he's stained forever. Yeah, poor guy, but yeah, poor guy, but yeah. That one mistake will haunt you. Cat, excuse me, one moment. Anyway. All right. Anyway. So, Mortal Kombat. I think it looks dope. I want to go see it. But we're going to move on now. So, y'all know that right now, like literally, well, not right now, but currently in process in the city of New York is a project is being filmed for Marvel Studios television division. And it is the Punisher special, due to be released next year. Now, there was a rumor based on some casting, there was some speculation. What up, Brennan? There was some speculation based on some casting that the potential antagonist of this special was going to be Nucci, a crime boss of the Nucci family, who, as a result of a conflict with Frank Castle, ends up getting Anakin. And by that I mean she loses all her limbs and is stumped. So now that that cast news came out a while ago. We've been the subjects come up here and there, but then this set photo came out. Look, y'all, it's Nucci's. And that's like direct from the set. So it's looking like Stumpy Ma Nucci is basically confirmed, which is cool. Because I haven't read it, but I guess the run that, everything that happens with Frank and Nucci happens in is like super brute soup. So basically, a faithful adaptation of that, we're all going to love, because it's going to be like Frank being like all kinds of Frank. Like he's going to fuck people up. Matter of fact, we got, ladies and gentlemen, we actually got some footage right from the set. Now I'm going to point out to you right now, this here is Bernthal. Right here. Watch him. Hold on. Look what he's wearing. And one more again, shall we? Oop! Casually just capped the motherfucker. Frank doing Frank shit, baby. In uniform. There's more. Oh, we're in front of Nucci's. There he is. In the skull. He's got the skull on. Okay, admittedly, that's not a whole lot going on. escorting someone out of the restaurant, maybe. And there's one more. Oh, this is from where he was. Oh, dragging someone. Can you hear the dude screaming in pain? Oh, the stomp at the end. Drag the dude. Stomp. Oh, that stomp. What up, Griff? What do y'all think of that shit, yo? What do y'all think of that shit? Frank Castle doing Frank Castle brutality. I dig it. Y'all know I dig it. Y'all dig it? What do you think of that shit? Nice little informal preview of things to come next year that they're filming right now. Now, here's a question, though. Will what happens in the special, like, at what point in the timeline is Manucci going to be stumped? Like, will the events of what caused her to be stumped already have happened before this particular special even begins? Will that happen towards the beginning of the special and deal with the aftermath? Or will the whole special be like a lead up to that and she'll get stumped at the end? That's my question. I don't even have a theory on that yet. But I'm curious as to how they're going to do it. But it's pretty sweet seeing him in action. Knowing he's going to be running around in the skull. Capping bitches. Dragging bitches around. Stomping bitches. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. I'm looking forward to that. Now, another question is like, how far are they going to push it in Spider-Man 4? I don't think they're going to push it super far in Spider-Man 4. I mean, they will some. Like, you can't, I don't care what you're doing, even if you have to make it work inside of a PG-13 framework, which you have to do because it's fucking Spider-Man. If you do it right, you do not have to soften Frank's edges too much. You know, not to like a ridiculous amount. But yeah, there's going to be some softening of Frank in Spider-Man 4. On the plus side, though, what we may lack in like hand-to-hand brutality, like, you know, a taste of, you know, some of what we got in Daredevil Born Again, we're not going to get that in Spider-Man. However, since they're going to be since there's a Hulk involved, while the hand to hand might not be that, you know, or it might not be too much brutality hand to hand wise, there's going to be a lot of explosions and bullets and rockets and grenades and noise and destruction. Like, Frank's going to get his shit on fighting the Hulk. Like, let's be clear. You know, it might not be, you know, broken bones and blood and shit, but things are going to get wrecked. Things are going to get blown up. Things will explode. Things will get destroyed. It's still going to be fucking cool watching Frank do his thing. Even though it'll be much more strategy and heavy weaponry based than like, close up hand to hand shit. Now on the flip side, while yes, he is gonna, he won't be able to do anywhere near as much in a Spider-Man movie as we would probably like him to do, regardless of whether he's in a Spider-Man movie or not. But let's be real. That's just the way it's gonna fucking be. We're not gonna get full bore Frank Castle in a Spider-Man movie. That was never gonna happen. It never will happen. But we get the special. We already know it's going to be TVMA. I think what we're not getting in Spider-Man, we're going to get all kinds of in this special. Like, I think this special is going to be hardcore. Like, even more brutal than what we got in Daredevil Born Again. Like, hardcore. Brutal. The comic run that's being adapted is brutal. So I'm excited. I am very much looking forward to that special next year. And they're filming it right now. So I'm not sure how long they're going to be filming, but I would guess, what is it, July right now? I mean, it's just a special, so it won't take as long to do as, like, a big old movie or, like, a season of television. We could actually get that motherfucker, like, within a year. Probably won't, but we could. I hope so. That'd be sick. That bitch drops, like, May. Give me. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I thought those little bits of scenes were cool. It hasn't been officially announced, but we're getting Manucci. The question is, and how much of her are we getting? Are we getting regular Manucci or are we getting Anakin Manucci? What up, Executive Judge? How you doing, man? Either way, we're in for a good motherfucking time, y'all. I think it's going to be pretty sick. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. All right. I'm going to go use the toilet real quick because I've been drinking my pop way too fucking fast. And then we're going to buckle down. We're going to gird our loins. We're going to strengthen our fortitude. We're going to mentally prepare because we're about it's less than an hour. We're about to listen to James Gunn talk, people. So brace yourself. Take a shot. Take a hit. Whatever you got to do. But there are tidbits in here that we're going to want to hear about and talk about. So that's what's next, right after I use the bathroom. I'll be right back. All right. Anyway. All right, folks. It's time to do it. We're actually going to purposefully listen to James Gunn talk. I need some fortitude. Anyone want to join me? You're about to send me this video? Yeah, no, we're going to break this shit down. I ain't trying to scroll through and get all the fucking quotes off the TwitX. We're just going to do it. Besides, quotes do not give the nuance of tone, vocal tone, facial expression, body language. So we have to watch MK Traveler. Think about it. Think about it even more when I know what. Oh, you mean the Mortal Kombat trailer? Yeah, I did that before I did this. Yeah, it's pretty fucking dope. But anyway, yes, Hosea Fireball. So to us and the journey we're about to embark on, listening to James Gunn's self-important smug ass talk about stuff. All right, chat. Let's do this. Here we fucking go.
He is brought down by internet trolls and is saved, arguably, by love and friendship. That's an interesting parallel to the journey you've been on.
Literally never thought of it.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Liar.
There was a moment that never occurred to you?
No.
What do you have to say?
What do I have to say? What do you have to say for yourself, James Gunn?
Prepare your ears, humans. Happy, sad, confused begins now.
Hey guys, I'm Josh, and this is another edition of Happy, Sad, Confused. We have a special Superman episode with the man of the hour, writer, director James Gunn, back on the podcast talking all things Superman. This is a spoiler-filled conversation. Strap in, here we go. I love these kind of chats, guys. Thanks as always for checking out Happy, Sad, Confused. Look, I always love a great filmmaker, but I love chatting with them when they can really let it all hang out and have a deep, open conversation about their project. Whether
literal pause.
It's a Chris McQuarrie, the Russo brothers have done this. We've done this with a bunch of great filmmakers at the end of the cycle. And this was truly, I think, James's last conversation, his last big interview after a very long road on Superman. Count me officially as a big-time Superman fan. I've loved Superman. I've loved the Richard Donner Superman. I love Man of Steel. I even have a fondness for Superman Returns. I mean, in a way, maybe I'm a crazy person.
Yes,
and
you are a crazy person.
They all have things that I love about them. And the thing that I love maybe most about this Superman film, for what it's worth, James Gunn's, is that it felt fresh. It felt unique. And after a lot of Superman in TV and film, that's saying something. It feels like a deeply personal movie. I found it funny and moving and weird and cool and invigorating and exciting. And I loved so many aspects of it. The casting, I think David Gordon Sweat kills it. Look, you don't need my review, but that's where I'm coming from as a big, deep fan of what James was able to accomplish here.
James Gunn, this is a moment. I was telling you before, I'm always appreciative of your time, but especially in this context, you are coming to the very end of a long road.
Well, truly the very end. So so we started in Los Angeles, went to the Philippines, went to Brazil. This is all a matter of days. Went to Brazil, went back to Los Angeles, went to London, went to Paris, back to Los Angeles, to China, and then here to New York City.
You passed the test, your mental acuity test.
Is that
on point.
am I doing okay?
You're doing.
Oh, man. I'm surprised.
No, truly, congratulations. The movie
Thank
is
you.
exceptional. And this, I was saying to you before, like, I'm excited because this is kind of, I'm viewing this as an exit interview for you because this is the end of the press tour. We can hopefully kind of like exhale a little bit.
Yeah.
The reviews are great. The box office is great. I mean, I know you talked a lot about kind of not setting too much pressure on this film, on yourself, but you had to feel it. I mean, now in hindsight, now that you can start to look a little bit back and say that worked, were you feeling the pressure going into this?
Yes. I mean, I have a strange way of approaching, work. So when I'm working,
you have a strange way of approaching a lot of shit, Brett. Anyway,
I'm filming or writing, I really don't feel pressure. I'm having fun. That's my relief valve,
right.
My relief valve. That's a word term. That's a relieving, time for me. But then outside of that, I felt a lot of pressure. I mean, there was a lot riding on this.
So, and I was saying this.
This banana peel isn't garbage. It's a resource because I have a mill food recycler. It's a real.
Someone before, it's like the relief is, from my perspective, is like the movie's great. The movie works on its own, which is like what you need. But also, I feel like you're going to have so much goodwill now going forward. Like we now believe in David as our Superman and the DCU. And that's going to really engender, I think, I don't know, a lot of greatness to come, hopefully, for the DCU. I think
that when I feel pressure, the most pressure I feel is to all the people that work so hard on this movie, the department heads and the actors that believe in it so much, and Peter Safran, who they all believed in this project so much from the beginning. Everyone was just wholeheartedly 100% in. And if it comes out crap, that's just sucks.
Yeah.
And so that's the first thing. And then also, we have Craig Gillespie working on Supergirl. Chris and Damon and Tom working on Lanterns.
Clayface crew probably about to start.
James with Clayface, and so there's all these other people working on these other projects that could have been either bolstered or hampered by this movie, and thank God they're all bolstered by it.
Okay, so who have you heard from? Because now the movie's out in theaters. I'm sure friends, filmmakers, actors are coming out of the woodwork.
Everybody, so many people. I mean, I just talked to Bradley Cooper this morning. I talked to, Darren Aronofsky immediately. I could, talk to Kathleen Kennedy last night.
Anything meaningful, like in terms of the person or the note of what they said?
The fuck are you talking to Kathleen Kennedy for, Bree? Why?
That really touched you?
There were lots of things that said that were incredibly touching. A lot of things about, Drew Goddard writing me about him and his son being able to experience the movie together and what that meant to him. That's always some of the more meaningful things. But there's a lot. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, I don't know if I quite expected this movie to have the emotional impact that it has on so many people. Like when I put out Guardians 3, I knew that was an incredibly emotional film. And this one I didn't quite think of in that way. And so I'm really sort of taken aback and, happily surprised by how many people have reacted to it in such a visceral and emotional way.
Can you talk a little bit about like what did you feel like your biggest swing you were taking was? What was the biggest risk you took creatively?
The biggest risk I took was putting a 12-minute talking scene in a superhero movie. There's just no doubt. I don't think that anything. I think there were a lot of different. There's just so many creative swings. Yeah.
Which for many is their favorite scene in the film, by the way. It's one of them. It's fantastic.
It's probably my favorite scene in the film if I haven't seen it as many times as I have, and if I ever have to see it again, I'll jump out that window.
Is there a 7-minute version of that and a 20-minute version of that scene, or is that basically the scene?
That's the scene, man. That's the scene I wrote. That's the scene that we screen tested with, and that's the scene that's in the movie. There's like maybe a line or two that we cut out, but hardly anything. It's remained relatively the same in terms of the dialogue, in terms of the shots we used and the way we orchestrated it. It has been endlessly cut. I mean, just constantly changing it up until right before we finished the cut.
Is part of that also just like how each of these characters comes across in the scene? Like you want to see both sides,
Yeah.
relate equally to both.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think that, you know, when I wrote the scene and I look at the scene myself, I see both their points of view. I see Lois's point of view. I see, you know, his point of view. She's talking about truth and he's talking about life.
Right.
Both important values and both their key important values in their lives. How
Finally, they say which fucking scene it is. It was the interview in the apartment.
However, I do think that, you know, in a sort of gut reaction, we agree with Clark. And so that meant that I had to measure things out a little bit more as I was editing it, because although Lois is making very, you know, good points.
She's being practical, but in our idealized version of ourselves, we want to do the right thing.
That's
we
right.
know what morally is right.
Listen, his way of looking at things is simple. And some would say simplistic.
Right.
You know, life, you know, we have to save lives. She's saying, well, maybe more lives are going to end because of you doing this than if you hadn't, you know. Let's look at the big picture, or at least take a step back for 2 seconds and try to figure it out before you act. He's a little rash.
Right.
You know, and we see that. And I think that was one of the fun things about the scene too, is we're seeing sort of the beauty of Superman and his love of everyone and of protecting all life.
Yeah.
Also seeing some of his flaws. He's a little rash. He is not as quick on his feet as Lois is. And so we get to see a lot more of Superman, I think, than we've ever seen before.
And his fatal flaw, he can't operate small electronics.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to where the button is. Yeah.
I mean, another big risk potentially you might have felt for yourself is, and you've talked about this to a degree, but I want to talk about the music of the film, because this is like a real change up for you. And I think it worked out in spades. I mean,
that's good. I mean, that was scary.
Yeah, because that's been a lifeline for you throughout your career.
It really has been. Yeah.
Like the needle drops, you know your music, you know your soundtracks. Did you ever second guess that decision to go score heavy and only keep the mic drops to a minimum?
Yes.
At what stage? Every stage?
About halfway through editing, you know.
Yeah.
No.
I'm like, one of the biggest ways that that I applaud him for restraining himself in is exactly this. This is the type of movie Superman requires a score. Guardians is fine with a soundtrack. You know, plenty of movies out there that, you know, it doesn't, you know, don't need to be scored per se. Superman needs to be scored. Like, props to James Gunn for like controlling himself and doing this the right way. And also making the needle drops he did put in there pretty decent.
Oh, no. I mean, the whole time it was always scary. It's like, you know, I don't want to say that that's a crutch of mine, but, you know, I know.
I'll say it. It's a fucking crutch of yours, bitch.
Music. And so I'm very aware of how to use, you know, pop songs in a way that bolster a film.
Yeah.
And it is an easy thing to do. And it's a fun thing to do. It's enjoyable. It's not like it's, you know, just a crutch. But to actually rely on the score a lot more was difficult, and it was a real balancing act to get the score right, because, you know, we start writing the score, you know, like John Murphy started writing the score. I gave him the script as soon as I was done with it, the first draft. And so we started writing the score very early. And then a lot of that is in the movie. So like the love theme, that's in the movie. Most of Lex's themes, those are all in the movie.
Right, you're playing those on set. I know, like that final shot of them going up.
We were playing the music as they were swinging around.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it.
And no, I'm not going to pay for premium.
A complete AI
So those things stayed the same, but other things, the movie ended up having a little bit of a lighter tone than the original, some of John's original score was. So we worked with both John and Dave Fleming, who did a lot of the score, to lighten things a little bit, because some of the music wasn't quite matching the film.
Right. So when you're midway through that edit, do you experiment with dropping in some songs? Were there versions of this that had
No, there was one point that I used an Idol song while Superman was flying.
Okay.
But that's the only needle drop that I ever took in and or out, and I wasn't even sure about it. I'm like,
got it.
I said to Bill Hoy, our editor, "Can you try playing this during this time?"
Got it.
And it was too short of a moment to use.
All right, so can we go a little bit back? Okay, so the birth of this film, I mean, the earliest incarnation is obviously, for those that don't know, when they come to you and they say, please do Superman, you say, I want to do Suicide Squad. This is back in about 2018,
well,
right?
It wasn't quite like that.
Okay.
It was, they said, please do Superman. They said, Superman.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know. And they said, what we really need is Suicide Squad sequel.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I said, okay.
That makes sense to me.
So I was like, all right, yeah.
So is anything from...
Let me be clear about one thing. This Suicide Squad is the primary reason that James Gunn makes me twitchy, especially when it comes to shit like Superman. Because that movie is very much him. And that movie, I fucking hate it. I hate that movie like I hate Love and Thunder. The Suicide Squad. That motherfucker Suicide Squad over there on that screen is the DC Love and Thunder. Even more than Batman and Robin. And that used to be the one. Now it is the Suicide Squad. Have I mentioned that I fucking hate that movie? I hate Suicide Squad. I was like, this is the same motherfucker that did Guardians. How big of a leash did Kevin have on this dude? Because look at this fucking hot pile of shit. Holy. I don't like the Suicide Squad at all.
Because you at least entertained an idea. You started to noodle around with the Superman idea then.
Yeah, I started thinking about it then. But the truth is that I didn't say yes initially to the Suicide Squad either.
Yeah.
I actually took 3 different DC ideas and wrote them out and was playing with them. And one of them, I will reveal to you for the first time ever, was a Crypto movie.
So
that had Superman sort of chasing after Crypto, which I didn't really remember until just this moment.
So
odds that he's going to turn around and end up doing that Crypto movie. Maybe in animation, maybe he won't force it live action, but what do you guys, you think he's going to find a way to do a fucking just straight up Crypto movie? I think he's going to try. Like, real talk, I would not be surprised. Like, even if it's just on, like, HBO Max, right? Because it's back to being HBO Max now, by the way. I don't know if y'all heard. But it's back to being HBO Max. How much you want to bet? He's going to find a way to do a goddamn Crypto movie. Maybe not in theaters, maybe just streaming. I feel like he's going to find a way. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like he's going to find a way.
So Crypto was front and center, and Superman
Crypto
was
front
the supporting
center,
guy.
and Superman was
in the background occasionally.
Was the supporting character. Yeah.
Amazing.
And
what was the third? Can you say what the third was?
That one I better not say, because it's complicated.
A long list of things.
It's complicated.
Okay.
I'll tell you afterwards. But the Suicide Squad, I really like to, kind of make sure I've got the whole, central chord of the story before I agree to do something. And so I found it with Suicide Squad, and that's why I proceeded with that.
Okay, so then jumping ahead, I just want to get my timeline down right, because I was somewhat in the middle of this.
Sorry, Josh Horowitz. Oops. There we go. Sorry, Josh Horowitz, but you do okay. You don't need me to watch your
weird way because I talked to Henry Cavill in the middle of when Black Adam's coming out.
Oh, good God.
Yeah. And we love Henry, of course. And
yes,
like,
he's the sweetest guy.
Sweet guy. Love him. And he has the cameo at the end. We had a big moment on stage where he thought he was coming back. We all thought he was coming back. But maybe unbeknownst to him or not, you're already writing a Superman movie, which is clearly for a younger actor. Then soon thereafter, you get the gig as the head of DCU, correct? I have this roughly right?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, correct.
So then at a certain point, you and Peter have to have that unfortunate phone call, I would imagine.
No, we sat down
Henry.
with him. We sat down with Henry.
So without revealing too much, I mean, what is that like to have to be the guy to tell Superman, thank you for your time. We have to go a different way now.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but believe it or not, I was, the day we, so we were dealing with trying to figure out if we could take the job at DC Studios.
Yeah.
And we're talking to David Zaslav and all the legal people there and figuring out what our deals would be. And the day our deal closed, all of a sudden they were announcing that, that Henry was back. And I'm like, what is going on? We know what the plan is. Like we know what the plan is. The plan was to come in and do Superman.
Yeah.
So it was really unfair to him, and it was a total bummer. But there was a vacuum at the time, and a lot of people were trying to be as
diplomatic as possible. There were other people that had a take on what they wanted to do with it.
They wanted to take on what they wanted to do with DC, and were trying to force their way, and it just was never a part of the equation for David Zaslav, who was the head of WBD. So
we all know who he's talking about, right? He's talking about The Rock. He's talking about Dwayne Johnson right now. Y'all remember that shit? Like power structure of DC is about to change or whatever the fuck Rock was saying. I mean, he was right, but not how he thought it was going to be. It went to this motherfucker. Exactly. So yeah, that we all know that. Yeah, it's The Rock. Anyway.
So we came in, and that was really unfortunate. I'm like, this poor guy. And so Peter and I, the right thing to do is to sit down with him and talk to him. Yeah. And we sat down, we talked to him. He was an absolute gentleman, a great guy about it. He said, the only thing I ask is that I'm able to reveal it myself as opposed to it coming from you guys. And I'm like, that's
he's a class act. Always has been from the start. Yeah. Would it be too confusing to cast him in your DC universe going forward?
As another character?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, I talked to him about it on that day. So yeah, no, I would love to put Henry in something. Yeah.
Let's talk about that real quick, guys. One, is it even possible to see Henry Cavill in a DC movie not with that S on his chest? That's number one. Is that even fucking possible? Number two, if by some miracle that is possible, who the fuck would who should he be cast as? What do you guys think, chat? Is that, like, first of all, like, I'm not even worried about the casting, because personally, I if it's me, I'm not even trying to bring Henry Cavill back to DC. Not for a very long time. And it doesn't even matter, like, that it would probably have to be a long time anyway, given how busy this motherfucker is. But Batman, you want to bring Henry Cavill back as Batman? Man, I love Cavill. Y'all know it. Cavill's not bad. At least not to me. Cavill's no. Like, I don't. If he's gonna come back to Cape movies, he needs to come back to but with Marvel. Like, if he does a DC movie, I don't care who they cast him as. I'm just gonna be like, He should be fucking Superman. Now, that's just me. Like, I would try, but I'd still be like, but he's fucking Superman. So yeah, I'm not even trying to hire him back to DC. Of course, if I'm Henry Cavill, I'm also not trying to go back to DC. Even if Warhammer falls the fuck through, I'm still not trying to go back to DC. If I'm him. I don't know. Who the fuck did he like? I don't know DC characters like the broader scope of DC characters as well as I do Marvel's. Like Marvel's easy. Just make him like Hyperion or the Guardian. Get the homie that leads the Shi'ar army. Isn't that the Guardian? He's on the Royal Guard. Who could I see Henry Cavill in DC if not Super Deathstroke? Oh, I was almost kind of starting to think that. I like that. Yeah, he'd be a sick ass Deathstroke. He'd be good as Deathstroke. Or what if we what? Ooh, what about another band? What about like uh, Captain Adam? It could be fun. It'd be wild. If they brought in who's the Superman character in the Crime Syndicate? That's who Henry Cavill should come back as. Yeah. If he's gonna come back, he should still come back as a version Hush. Ooh. Nah, he needs to come back as I would say Bizarro, but I'm pretty sure like I'm very inclined to think with those who think Ultraman's gonna end up coming back as Bizarro. Like that black hole tossed him into another universe / dimension / whatever and fucked him all up, and now he's gonna be Bizarro, which totally makes sense to me. But yeah, like the dude from the Crime Syndicate, that would be really fun. That'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, like evil multiversal Superman, dope. Come on, chat, help me out with that one. Okay. Anyway, let's get this shit going again.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about plot-wise and choices you made here. The opening and closing always baked into that script. Was the opening where we see Superman? Was the closing moments him in that chair seeing his parents? Did you doodle around with how it was going to begin and end?
The opening is where I began the story, so that was really what kickstarted the story for me. And the closing, I can't remember when I came to it.
Okay, so opening wise, it was important to you to find him like in media res, in the middle of the action.
Yeah.
He's at his lowest point. He's lost for the first time.
Yeah. I mean, people always use this phrase, so it was important. And I'm like, none of this is important, man.
It's a choice. I mean, got to do something.
Yeah, I thought it was, and relatively, it was important.
Right.
I mean, it was just where I was inspired, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I had just gotten my dog. I've told the story a million times.
Yeah.
Just got my dog. I'm like, oh, yeah. And so there were two things that sort of kickstarted the idea of what this could be for me. The first was my terrible dog.
Right.
And the second was the idea of Superman with a little bit of blood in his mouth.
Right.
And I kind of put those two moments together, and it ended up there. And, you know, and went directly into the Fortress Rising and the robots. And then I knew I had a tone that I could deal with, which was, you know, those different things combined.
When did the opening crawl enter the picture?
Much later. That was a after test screenings.
Okay, so there was a version that didn't have anything.
There was versions without it. Yeah, and so it was, you know, the movie, people loved the movie. But they found themselves confused going into this other universe.
Right.
And I thought Star Wars actually more confusing if you think about it. Like, what if we just went with Luke and there was never any, you know, it would be hard to figure out what was going on. And so I thought of that crawl and I thought, wow, not only did the crawl help the story, but I loved the crawl as a kid. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So adding, you know, I think it really helps to set up the fact that this is an alternate history. This is an alternate reality.
Yes.
This is not our world. You know, it's one of the things I loved about DC Comics is that it isn't New York and Los Angeles. It's Gotham and Metropolis and Evergreen and Star City. And we're creating an alternate reality. And so in that way, it is a lot more like Game of Thrones or Star Wars.
Ever consider a narrator to do that opening crawl, or was it always just text on screen?
No, because I think the quiet of the quiet of the you know, ice planes is too important.
All right, so let's talk. A lot has been made, and I tend to agree with this. I mean, look, you write a film, you're going to be many of your characters. You relate to a lot of these characters, I would imagine. But
yeah,
there are.
Same old phone? Nah. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
Amber, you're incredibly creative. Here's the thing.
Some really interesting parallels that the Superman's journey in this film. He is brought down by internet trolls and is saved, arguably, by love and friendship. That's an interesting parallel to the journey you've been on.
Literally never thought of it.
Is that true?
Yeah.
There was a moment that never occurred to you?
No.
Okay, James. Okay, buddy. Whatever you say.
What do you have to say?
What do I have to say? What do you have to say for yourself, James Gunn?
I'm not. It's not a defense, but like, I mean, it seems a pretty clear A/B.
Well, first of all, he's not really brought down by internet trolls. They just, you know, they add to it. He's brought down by a guy who's trying to murder him.
Sure, you didn't have that part.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's trying to kill him. He puts, you know, stuff in his, I mean, I don't want to spoil it. He put those
We're spoilers.
things.
We're good. Yeah.
He put stuff in his lungs to murder him. That's not brought, that's nothing. The internet trolls are nothing compared to the nanites in his lungs.
So when you're writing the monkey bots, etc., you're not thinking at all about your own experiences.
I really am thinking about the fact that governments hire bots to, you know, create all this mischief.
Yeah.
So it's more about that. But I mean, is it, you know, is it funny to me? I saw somebody yell something about the movie, and then Mitch Gerards, who's a comic book writer, just responded with the little keyboard emoji and a monkey emoji, and I'm like, oh, I like that. That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever had a hashtag as good as super shit associated with your name. That's pretty...
Yeah. I've had worse, believe me.
Can we talk about Lex and Superman's speeches towards the end?
Yeah.
That really like explicate, and only in a movie like this, I think, can you have that kind of speech, I think. think, that really is like a fun lean into it. Like, this is who I am. This is what I stand for.
Yeah.
And you really get a clear vision of Superman embracing humanity and wanting desperately to be human, and Lex just being fueled by envy.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about where those two speeches came from? Were they self-evident?
Well, I always knew, you know, they were later additions in the script.
Okay.
They were from before we were shooting, but like they were later additions. The Superman Lex facing off. And you know, so I mean, the Lex speech, not the Lex speech that he gives to Superman, that was a part. Sorry, that was a part of the movie from the very beginning.
Okay.
I mean, like that was always baked in. But the Superman speech at the end was a late addition because I felt like we needed it,
just to underline who he is, what's important to him, his values.
Yeah, to sum it up. I mean, to sum up what he's learned, you know, and that speech was the greatest moment for me on set in my life, maybe, because it was this great moment where, and we have this all, like, there's a behind the scenes documentary that I think is going to come out with the Blu-ray, and it was David, as you know, people know by now who have been watching, has a lot of questions, and he's got a lot. He just questions everything all the time,
right?
And he's a very actory actor.
Yeah.
And the guys who I'm used to dealing with are Chris Pratt and John Cena. They're my two stars I work with all the time.
Yeah.
And they are not that. They are very boom.
Yeah.
You know, and they just have learned to trust me no matter what.
Right.
And
that's what you get for hiring Juilliard.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And so David is giving the speech, and I had so much writing on the speech because I didn't think the movie would work if the speech didn't work. And he came in, I was so nervous about it because I'm like, it could be too cheesy. I may not believe him when he says it. And he comes in and he delivers the speech beautifully. And so I'm like, thank you, Jesus, right? And then I said, okay, that was great. Let's do it again, but do it more intensely.
Right.
You know, be louder with it.
Yeah.
And so David does it again. He does it the way I wanted him to do it, and he does it more intensely. I'm like, that's even better. Holy crap. I'm like, David, do it like that one more time, like that, you know, because also remember, so the shot is hard because he gives the speech, right? And we have the camera moving forward with him as he gives the speech. Then we pan over to Lex, and Lex has to give his speech.
Right.
Now, Nick Holt is the unsung hero in this story because he's perfect every time and never misses. But we swing over to Lex, and then Lex gives his speech, and then we have to curl around Lex and come around as he's giving his speech. And at the exact right moment, with the camera coming to the exact right point, about to stop, and Lex about to stop his speech, he's got to get hit by crypto and go down. So Nick has to go like this. At the exact
the pressure
right
is
moment.
really on Nick this whole time.
So the pressure's on Nick. Of course, I don't even think about Nick because he's perfect.
Yeah.
He's like the favorite son. David's a prodigal son.
It's totally cool to rent a car, a house, or even this. So
there we go.
But they know it. They're okay with that.
No, I love them both.
Yeah.
And so David, you know, David starts to give the speech again, and then he stops and he says, James, I just don't know. I just had this conversation with my father about, you know, this stuff. So I don't feel like I should be, I wouldn't, you know, I'm not sure I would be upset because I've been, you know, kind of cured by my dad. And like, you know, it's like blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm on what we call the God mic, talking into him, and the other, he's only as far as that. He's not far, but he's through a wall, right? And I say, no, David, because of this. And we're have this back and forth going where, you know, the point of it is that just because logically his dad has taught him what's right, it doesn't mean emotionally the words Lex is saying don't hurt his feelings.
Right.
And that you can be somewhere with your logic and your emotions are still there. And this is about him owning his emotions and experiencing his emotions and being honest in that moment, even though his dad, his conversation with his dad changed him forever.
Right.
And he came in, and I was saying it in a much stronger way than that. And David came in, and I actually see him come in the other room, and he's like, and I'm like, no, you feel this. It's in here. It's about what's in your heart. And I'm hitting him in the heart. And then all of a sudden, David looks at me and he goes, got it. And then he walks back in stage and he delivers the speech. And it's absolutely beautiful. And I learned something that day because, I learned that David's way was great. My way was better.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But when David and I were on the same page, that was the best.
That's what it's about.
Film is a collaborative medium, and it was fantastic. I got teary-eyed. It was one of my favorite days on set. David wrote me afterwards, said this is my favorite day ever, with a director. And so it was a really great moment. And that's our relation. I mean, that explains my relationship with David better than anything,
totally.
And it's just, he is a really talented guy and a good friend. And, but he's a handful. David's my crypto.
He's just irascible. He just gets under your skin. He just can't be controlled, can't be contained. Let's talk a little casting since you mentioned David. So the war is, and we know obviously Nick was one of the finalists. It was David, Nick, and an actor I believe Tom Brittany. Let's talk that you went to Bradley initially for Luther.
I did talk to Bradley about it when we had a short conversation, and at the end, I think, I did want Lex to be someone that was more contemporary of Superman's.
Did you write it in a specific way with an age associated in the script?
I didn't write it as an age, but
Can y'all imagine if Bradley motherfucking Cooper was Lex Luthor in this and not Nick Holt? Can y'all imagine that shit? I honestly think it would work. He's a little a lot of people, and I don't necessarily. It's not a big deal to me, but I also don't, disagree. We expect Lex to have at least, a certain stature, right? And Bradley Cooper is not big. I think he's a better actor than Mr. Holt. I think he probably would have done the acting part a bit better. But you gotta be able to have the whole package. And he's a little on the small side, but it damn would it have been interesting. Fucking Bradley Cooper as Lex Luthor. Could have been pretty interesting.
I think that Lex Luthor is important to Superman. I think he's also important to the future of the DC universe. And I thought it was probably better. But yeah, Bradley would have been a great Lex. I mean, Bradley's great at everything.
It's pretty good. Was there ever you could have had Lex be a physical adversary. Obviously, in the comics, he does don that.
Yeah.
That suit.
We still got plenty of time, man.
Right. So in this initial,
we see the early prototypes of that suit.
Right, of course. So never in this script, though. You never have as a physical adversary.
No.
All right, let's talk. The biggest question that people have asked, probably you already, is about Jor-El and Lara's message. Is it real? Has it been doctored? Is that the actual?
How can someone not think it's real?
I'm just saying.
How can someone? I don't understand. We did this. So in the test screens, people were like, "Is it real?" With AI, nobody trusts anything. Okay, in the movie.
You make a point of saying, Mr. Terrific says it's real.
Mr. Terrific says, I know those computer forensics guys, there's no way. That's Mr. Terrific, smart as Lex Luthor. Then I have Maury, the Secretary of Defense, say, I think whatever you think about Luthor, but it's real. And then the clincher is that Gurkos and Lex are walking together.
Right.
And, Gurkos says, you doctored a message. This is great. And Lex says, it's not a message. It's not doctored.
Right.
It's real. And who thought his own parents would be the ones to bring him down?
Okay. We just clarified, just for the record. I just want to get it down.
Imagine being able to build anything. For any reason, in any style, at any...
Are there implications for this going forward, or have you dealt with this? I mean, do you imagine this being dealt with in future Superman stories?
I mean, honestly, I think he deals with it in this story pretty much. I mean, I think that this story, at the heart of it, is a story about a guy who's doing things he thinks for reasons outside of himself.
Yeah.
Comes to realize through the love of a parental figure, his father and mother, that he is not doing things because of someone outside himself. He's doing things.
Mural. We do see some.
Yeah, the mural's cool, right?
Right. So people are now starting to pick it apart and see some notable faces.
Who do they think?
Jay Garrick, Flash. Alan. Really? Okay. Alan Scott, Green Lantern.
I don't think so. I got to look at the
Dr. Fate in there?
I think Dr. Fate's in there, yeah.
Were any other characters considered for the Justice Gang, but besides the ones you landed on? Martian Manhunter, Black Canary, all over the place.
Not that I remember. I mean, not that I remember.
Okay.
They happen to be three of my favorites, so I just kind of was picking my favorite children.
Any other villains? We obviously have Lex, but you could have done Brainiac.
Brainiac was considered, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was sort of considered, but yeah.
Everyone pronounces it differently. Mixoplick. I feel like if anyone could do it, maybe you could do it.
Mr. Mixoplicks it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You could have. Ultraman could have. I could have seen a version where that's Bizarro, literally Bizarro Superman.
Right. Exactly.
Is that this is your take on Bizarro, or could Bizarro Superman be something that we see at some point?
Well, we'll have to see where we go next.
Okay.
That's a very vague answer, but
that means I'm hitting pay dirt. I'm hitting the good stuff.
No, it just means I don't know what the hell I'm doing yet.
Okay, well, let's get to that. We do know you are writing a script. You've been writing, which is another Superman-involved story.
Yes.
Fair enough to say?
Totally fair enough to say.
You have been cagey, though, in saying it's
I'm being very cagey.
Not exactly a Superman sequel, per se. Here's what from the fan perspective, one of the regrets around post-Man of Steel was we never got like another Superman adventure.
Yes.
Right? Henry didn't get his shot in another Superman movie.
Yes, yeah.
So make me feel better. Like
it's Superman's very important. It's not like, and it isn't Batman versus Superman. It isn't.
Okay. It's not world's finest Batman, Superman. Okay. This is getting touchy territory. This is intended to be the next one you direct. Is there a timeline in when you think we might hear about this?
Yes.
Sooner than later?
Yes.
Like this week?
No. Can we? I like interviews where I just say yes or no.
You're enjoying this?
I'm going to do that. The next press tour, I'm just going to be, okay, everybody, only yes or no questions. It'll be so much less stressful.
The audience loves all of these characters, and there's already talk, supposedly. Mr. Terrific. People love Mr. Terrific.
Yeah, they love Mr. Terrific. They love Jimmy Olsen. They love Eve. Everybody. I mean, it's like, it's great. Guy Gardner.
So how far along? It sounds like Mr. Terrific and Jimmy are both being considered for series.
That's what...
One could see a Daily Planet show with Jimmy front and center. That doesn't seem like a crazy
One
notion.
could see that, Josh.
Should we talk about Batman for a second?
Oh, God.
The hardest
From bad to worse.
The good news is you got the script.
I mean, Guy Gardner's going to be in Lanterns.
Yes, we know
Can
that.
we talk about the things that are out there that I've actually said? As opposed to the whispers online that are sometimes made up and sometimes real?
I'm trying to clarify things.
No, bitch. We gotta talk about Batman.
Okay, we do know Matt Reeves did deliver the script.
Yeah,
and we know you read it and you seem very pleased.
I like it, yes.
So on track for that release date? We feel like now we're headed in the right direction.
Oh yeah, for sure, we're headed in the right direction. So there's some things we still got to work out, but like it's headed in the right direction for sure.
So look, we've had this conversation before, but I'm going to bring up the Batman DCU stuff like again. So like obviously Brave and the Bold we know is being written, and the DCU Batman is still intended to be a different Batman than Rob. I guess my question is like timeline wise, like how does this work? Like is there I presume you wouldn't want to release Brave and Bold and the Batman 2 in the same calendar year. It like starts to get a little confusing, or no? You tell me. I mean, having two Batmen running around at the same time.
Probably not. But yeah, probably not. No.
Okay.
Probably not the same calendar year. Yeah.
Is Brave and Bold when you think we'll see that Batman for the first time?
I'm not going to say that.
Okay. Have you gotten into casting yet in your head?
No. Why are you winking at me? That's weird.
What do you think about the fans that talk about someone like Alan Ritchson?
I am a big Alan Ritchson fan, both as an actor and as a guy. Let's just wait to see what happens.
Okay. I guess my only other thing I'll say on that front, and then I'll move on, I promise, is, again, and you can say anything you want or nothing at all, but like when you're casting that role, it would seem...
All right, so just real quick. So based on answers and non-answers, it would appear Brave and the Bold is still on table, despite the Hollywood Reporter saying they're not sure about it. Looks like there is going to be James's own Batman. There will not be a merging of Pattinson and this DCU. Which would appear. And it would appear that, like, they're at least smart enough not to put them out the same calendar year. So, which means, folks, as there's no Batman coming out next year of any kind. The Batman 2 comes out October 2027. So if they're not doing Reeseverse and DCU Batman in the same year, then the absolute earliest, we will see the DCU Batman, at least in his own movie, will be 2028. Now, James also did not commit to that, that being the first place we're going to see him. I'm just saying 2028, it'll be the earliest we get a full-length solo Batman movie for the DCU. Or at least a Batman-led movie. I mean, you can't even really call Superman a solo movie. Like, people that came out of it is like, it really is kind of Superman and Friends. It's facts. Right? So... so I could see, like, a Batman movie being, under James Gunn, being kind of similar. It'd be more like Batman and Friends or whatever. It'd be Batman-led, obviously, Batman-focused. But, it wouldn't be like, well, pretty much the rest of the Batman movies where it's Batman, Alfred, the Batcave, a bunch of tech, whatnot. So I would say it is much more likely that we see the Batman or the DCU Batman and other things. Perchance, maybe Clayface. Perchance, I don't know why. Depends on what they do with it. The Wonder Woman movie that they're going to be fast tracking. I can't remember if that came from this or a different article, but no, that came from an article. But yeah, so it looks like we're going to have two Batman people. At least for the immediate future.
You have to differentiate in some substantial way the take on Batman so it doesn't get confusing, right? Like whether it's a different age, a different vibe, something. Is that in your head? Like when
That's
we get there?
That's always going to be the case.
Yeah.
What two Batmans have the same vibe?
Well,
Clooney and Kilmer.
That's fair. Okay. Okay.
I mean, just because, but they're the same director.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like
it's dictated by the material and the take.
The material, the take.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
The actors, the actors aren't important.
We learn nothing else.
No, listen, and do I ever think about it? Sure, there's people out there I think about, but let's see where the script comes in.
Okay.
It's not the furthest along thing. I mean, we have things that are much, much further along than Raven.
Let's talk about the further along. Supergirl's in the can.
Supergirl's in the can.
You can choose to raid the caravan, or you can choose to guard it. This is a game where slaying monsters are not the only way to grow stronger.
Don't leave out Peacemaker 2.
We're going to be talking about that in about a week. I'm very excited about
Peacemaker 2 is a direct follow-up to Superman. We have so many characters from Rick Flag's in it, Hawkgirl, Maxwell Lord, Guy Gardner. So it's the direct follow-up to Superman,
and
but very R-rated.
I can't wait. We're going to see not only Lobo but Crypto in Supergirl.
Lobo is so freaking awesome. Jason Momoa is so. Oh my God! Yeah,
I mean, we've all agreed. Like this was like the.
Bro, even if Millie Alcock can't like put butts in seats for this movie, you do the right part. No, let me rephrase that right now. You do the right scenes, or at least the right portions of the right scenes of Lobo in the trailers. That's gonna help. I'll just put it that way. Momoa be selling tickets, bro. That's all there's.
Easiest casting ever.
It was. Well, he pushed himself on me too. I gotta say, but he, Lobo is great, and then, and that's great, and then we have Lanterns coming out, which is great. We have Clay.
No, Gunn, the only thing Gunn has to do with Supergirl is greenlighting it. And, an executive producer credit because he co-runs the studio. But yeah, no, he's not directing it, he didn't write it. The only thing he did was greenlight it and stick his EP.
Mike Flanagan script, yep.
And you've said the script is what sold you. It's always going to sell you.
Yeah.
This is
a total horror movie. Like, really, it's like it could be a Blumhouse, big budget horror film, and but it's within the DCU, which I think is a cool thing to do.
Let me just run down a few others. You tell me as much as you want or not. So, like, are we anywhere on like a Wonder Woman script? Like,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
You feel like there's a take, there's a direction.
Yes.
That feels distinct from what we've seen before.
Yeah, very. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm very, very excited about Wonder Woman right now.
Do you anticipate seeing something like a new Flash, a new Aquaman in the next few years, or is that a little ways off?
I wouldn't say the next 2 years for either of those characters.
Okay.
You know what? I forgot to turn the screen back on. My bad. But not seeing the Flash or Aquaman for a couple more years, at least. Not a bad thing, I don't think. I actually think that's probably a good idea. Couple reasons for that. One, they're nowhere near as essential as Batman and Wonder Woman, so like to prioritize them over either of those two would kind of be a little ridiculous in and of itself. That's number one. Number two, first Aquaman did a Billy. That is true. Aquaman 2, not so good. Flash, not so good. More separation from those is probably also not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Probably, like, overall, probably just a good idea to let, Aquaman and the Flash just hang out for a while in the background, not really doing much, not really saying much. You need your Trinity. We're already bringing the Lantern Corps in, which is dope. So, yeah. I mean, do we want Aquaman and the Flash? Yeah. Very much. But, do we need them right now? I'm going to go ahead and say, nope, it's fine to wait on them, motherfucker.
Okay. The Authority, still on your mind?
Yeah, but that's been a rough
That's
road.
been a slower one.
Yeah,
just harder to crack, harder to.
Yeah, the writer moved on to another project in the DCU that I think he's really killing right now. So
okay, and that project would be
another movie
that we haven't talked about.
Yeah.
Okay. Swamp Thing. Has Mangold delivered a script?
We talked to James the other day, so no, he hasn't delivered a script. It's he's been distracted with his billions of movies.
Yes,
but I think we're talking about it again. So,
and I mean, Sergeant Rock seemed like it was very close. Do you still have hopes that it's going to come back around relatively soon?
Hugely.
Okay.
I'm really excited about Sergeant.
And with Luca still involved?
No.
Okay.
Tell me if you're feeling this way. The internet that we've all so come to depend on has become one of the most dangerous places you can go.
Okay. Is there one filmmaker, if you had your druthers, if you could lure anybody into the DCU, who would you grab? Make your pitch.
Matt Reeves.
You already got him. Oh, no. He's in the DCU.
He's not in the DCU.
Have you talked to him? You must have talked to him about it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, Matt to me, listen, Matt, I love the people that are out there making pop movies that are still, it's Matt Reeves, it's Greta Gerwig, it's Ryan Coogler.
It's their vision.
It's the guys that, and I'm friendly with all those people, and they're making big movies that still have, themselves in it.
Yeah, they're personal, yet they resonate with everybody.
And so I love people that are taking risks in the area of spectacle film, because most of the stuff out there is not a risk. It's just,
it's disposable. Yeah.
I love disposable stuff.
Yeah.
But let's make it good disposable.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I love big popcorn movies, but it's just like it gets to be, boring when they're all the same.
Okay, I'll end with this. What's the barometer of success when we talk in 5 years or 10 years, and you're presumably still at DC? I mean, is it about who you've introduced, what you've done, like what you've led to? I mean, how are you gauging your own success?
James, what is your relationship with your wife like now that she's forgiven you for disappearing for 3 years?
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
The rest of this is who the fuck cares. Like, no offense, James, but we don't care anymore. So. First of all, yay, we fucking made it. 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 Wasn't that bad? It wasn't that bad, no. But, like, no, there's just something. Superman might have watched the Gunnism Zombie. No. It wasn't that bad. Like, again. He restrained himself, and I'm like, I respect him for it. I'm happy, and I'm thankful. Superman might have watched the Gunnism, but, the homie is who he is, which is, it's fine. It's fine, but, again. Depending on the project, he does have to learn how to control himself. Creature Commandos, he can be all the James Gunn he wants. Peacemaker, he can be all the James Gunn he wants. Whatever. Just make adjustments based on what you're doing. And he mostly, not completely, but mostly reined himself in quite enough. But yeah, like the biggest things, at least for me, were He's gonna have his own DCU Batman, and it ain't gonna be Robert Pattinson. Quite. So yeah, like the biggest things. Let's cheers ourselves for making it through that shit. Behind. He's gonna have his own DCU Batman, and it ain't gonna be Robert Pattinson. It's going to be two Batmans. Even though I think that's not the greatest idea, whatever. You know, if he can make it work, cool. Like, more power to him. I just think, at least for me, Marvel has taught us about what oversaturation can do. Marvel has taught us about if he can make it work, not keeping things simple and coherent. I just think, at least for me, Marvel has taught us about what and I think having two Batmen running around in your studio is the opposite of that. It's closer to what Marvel was doing wrong than what is the right way to do. I think it's a mistake, frankly. I don't think it's a good idea. Drop Pattinson, says Brennan. Well, see, here's the flip side of that coin. Pattinson stays around for as long as Daddy Zaz allows it, because Matt Reeves does not work for James Gunn. As James just said, Matt Reeves is not DCU. Matt Reeves is here's the flip side of that coin. Like, Matt Reeves did not even have to show James his script. Matt Reeves does not work for James Gunn. As James just said, like, he didn't have to do shit for James Gunn. He didn't have to show him a script. He didn't have to tell him when the script was coming in. Like, he does not work for James. Any info he gives to James is a courtesy. Matt Reeves signed his contract with Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi of Warner Brothers Studios before DC Studios was a thing and Safford and Gunn were running. He predates Gunn. Like, it is literally the case that Gunn can't tell DC Studios. He predates Gunn. Oh, 100%. That's my problem with Richardson, is he would not be a good Bruce. Now, if they were to adopt the absolute Batman, that's when you want Richardson. Oh, 100%. That's my problem with Richardson. Yeah, for regular ass Batman, no. Now, if they were to adopt the absolute Batman, there's a few actors that'd be good. I'd love to see Jensen Ackles. He wouldn't even have to do what Christian Bale did with his voice. He just fucking sounds like that. It's great. Yeah, for regular ass Batman, no. I don't know. People like to fan cast that Brandon Sklenar guy. Actors that'd be good. I don't know. I've never seen anything with him in it. I don't know what he really looks like or sounds like for the most part. And I've seen a couple pictures. Like, he's already in good shape. You know, he could go through the Hollywood program, put on like 20 pounds of muscle, and be good to go. And he's got the face to be both. He's got the face and the build to be both Bruce Wayne and Batman. He's already in good shape. Some people have said Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm gonna vote no on that one. Some people have said Josh Hartnett. I'm gonna go ahead and vote no on that one as well. Like, honestly, I have no idea who the fuck they should hire. Some people have said Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, if he's literally still going with the Brave and the Bold, some people have said it's gonna have to be more of an Ackles than it is a. Like, honestly, I have no idea. Because Brave and the Bold involves a Damian Wayne. Hartnett too old now. Even for a Brave and the Bold role. And I don't know. There's just something about Jake Gyllenhaal that says no. Don't it? Can't explain it. No idea. I just look at Jake Gyllenhaal and think, Batman? Nope. Nope. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that gets handled. Now, if they're fast tracking the Wonder Woman, which he said they are, or actually, who did they say? No, actually, he didn't say they're fast tracking, but he said he liked where it was going. He liked the direction of the script. It's going to be interesting because they have the story cracked, all of which is good. I think they're fast tracking it. Came out in a different arc. Oh no, it was the arc that we went over on Wednesday night. So, he didn't say they're fast tracking, but he said he liked where it was going. He liked the direction. That's good. I mean, since Batman is still in flux, or your Batman, I think getting Wonder Woman going is good. You need to start getting your Trinity built. Yes, you have dope characters, introduced. Obviously, Superman, Mr. Terrific is dope as fuck. He did him really well. You got Guy Gardner Lantern, and then next year on HBO Max we get Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart Lantern. Plus whatever else they decide to throw on the show, which obviously is going to be mostly grounded on Earth, but it's supposed to have massive cosmic repercussions. So I'd imagine we're going to get they're going to spend some time in fucking space, running around doing Green Lantern things with their Green Lantern rings. Plus whatever else they decide to throw on the show, which obviously is going to be mostly grounded on Earth, but it's supposed to have massive. So we're getting lanterns. I'd imagine we're going to get they're going to spend. We're getting Supergirl, and with her comes Lobo, which is cool. Like, Lobo is the type of character that, like, very much fits James Gunn. At least a lot of his sensibilities, not all of them. But, like, wisecracking, no fucks given. Like, Lobo is the type of character that, type of thing Lobo has that in spades. On top of basically being, I don't know if powerful is the right word, but he is as strong, in some comics, stronger, than Superman. Just as durable. I think Lobo's immortal. I can't remember how that happened offhand, but yeah, Lobo's fucking dope. Like, he's ridiculous. I don't know if powerful is the right word. And Momo was born to play this fucking role. Yeah, but even with all that, it's pretty cool. It's all pretty cool, at least so far. You still got to have the Trinity. So since the Batman situation is what it is, we're gonna get Wonder Woman before we get Batman, at least as a massive point of emphasis. Again, Gunn hinted that he'll pop up. It will not be all the way till we get the Brave and the Bold, whoever we see back. Will they introduce him as soon as Clayface? Maybe. Will they introduce him as soon as Supergirl? Will they, for whatever reason, kind of hint at him? I don't think so. Supergirl's like, if they're, depending on how faithfully they're adapting Woman of Tomorrow is a pretty cosmic. For whatever reason, I don't think so. Supergirl's gonna. So I don't really see if they're depending on Batman popping up. Clayface would probably be the absolute first place we would see him. So, and I'll tell you there is one advantage to not having Pattinson as your main DCU Batman. And that is if you wanted to stick him in Clayface, Pattinson going to cost a hell of a lot more than whoever James is going to end up casting. Probably. Rob. There is one advantage to not having. I mean, obviously that depends on who he does end up casting. Obviously. But if you wanted to stick him in play, no. I don't think he's going to cast like a massive name. For a wide variety of reasons. Some having to do with like story and where Gunn wants to go with it, and some having to do with like, budget. I don't know how much a motherfucker gotta get paid. For a wide variety of reasons. So some having to do with like story and where Gunn got to mute myself. If you were double hearing me, that's why. If you were double hearing me, that's why. I got to mute myself on this motherfucking screen. Okay, anyway. Pattinson, not even good. Bruce Bats combo. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his Bruce. Like, I like the movie, like as a movie. I think it's, I liked it. I liked it more the second time than I did the first time. I'll put it back. The first time I was like, what? Almost 3 hours. Okay, cool. Second time I watched it, I was like, you know what? This might be a bit better than I remember. I regret the time I just watched this. So. Right, we'll go take one more pee, then we're going to get into these reviews for the Fantastic Four. They look good. Just so you know. And I have not watched this stuff since the beginning. Yeah, we'll have to stream. All right, go. Okay. See you guys. Watch it. Okay. Not gonna lie, the Batman was super long. Anyway, yeah, it was a long ass movie. It was a long ass movie. Yeah. So, Fantastic Four. It's a movie from Marvel Studios. And it comes out in 6 days worldwide. Oh, well, technically 5 because it's been Sunday where I live for 16 minutes. So, anyway, it's coming out very, very, very soon. I personally am very, very, very excited. Unlike Superman, the trailers and clips have only improved. Mostly the Superman's issue is the clips. Like, what the fuck were they? Where were some of those clips? The hell were they thinking? Anyway. Yeah, like, at least for me, the clips that they've put out for the Fantastic Four have actually increased my interest in the movie. Or at least, yeah, basically they've increased my interest in the movie by, like, confirming aspects that I, have come to know are very important to the characters that really should be nailed for it to be a proper Fantastic Four movie. Excuse me. And the more I see of it, the more that looks like that's exactly what's fucking happening. So I, for one, am stoked. Now, normally, you're on average, your review embargoes get lifted, like, 2 to 4 days ahead, depending on, like, what the early buzz already is for the movie. Does the studio want to try and push it harder? They're just like, okay, we'll just go through the regular rigmarole. You wait closer to release because you're not 100% confident in it, and you think it could hurt the box office if people find out it's crap too soon. Yeah. So, most everybody who, like, keeps track of this stuff the way we do probably weren't expecting early social media reactions to Fantastic Four till, like, Monday or Tuesday, right? Well, guess what, folks? Marvel went ahead and said, you know what? Y'all can start talking about this shit last Friday night. Yeah, the social media embargo lifted last night at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's a good time. So, couple takes just from that fact, the fact that they lifted that last night. Take number one. They're pretty fucking confident in this movie. Now, is that always a good thing? Does that always mean success? No. that does not studio confidence does not always translate to success or like something the audience enjoys. Marvel thought they had a banger with Quantumania, and you know what? They might have been closer to that if they hadn't changed the ending. I think the ending they had that they changed out of spite because it leaked would have done much more to save the reputation of that movie. I mean, granted, there was still a lot of fun. It was kind of dumb. But the ending just kind of, like, sealed Quantumania's fate. Kind of sealed it. I don't know if it would have totally saved the movie, but it would have been a hell of a lot better if they had done the ending the proper way. But they didn't, and we have what we have. But the main point is Marvel was shocked. They thought they had a banger. They were confident. They should not have been confident. But they were. They were pretty confident about Thunderbolt. Now, Thunderbolts actually was a really good fucking movie, but no one cared because Marvel had been fucking up. And also because, you know, they're B tier and below characters. I don't give a fuck what you say or how much you like them. Facts are facts. The Thunderbolts is B and C tier characters. They may be B and C characters that we're fond of. But they're still B and C tier characters, whether you like it or not. And the general public don't give a fuck. So, you know, the early reviews were really positive on that one. They did talk a lot about mental health and depression in a lot of those early reviews, which probably also didn't help. You know, if they'd have just stopped at, this movie is really excellent. The character work is really good. The emotions are insanely intense and very relatable. You know, that kind of thing. They didn't really have to be like, this is the best film to handle the subject of depression in forever and definitely in the entire MCU. Good. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with emphasizing needing to take care of your mental health. You know, even in a Marvel movie, there's absolutely zero wrong with that. I mean, let's face it, superheroes are like big walking bags of trauma for a wide variety of reasons. Not just like what got them into being a superhero, but like the shit they've seen and done, had done to them while being a superhero. They're all pretty fucked up. You know, so it's not like that's a subject that shouldn't be tackled in a comic book movie. Like it definitely should be. Nothing wrong with it. But like the reviews all leaned very heavily into that. Which actually may have been detrimental. Like if they did like kept it more vague, like just talked about like, you know, the journey of the character and like the emotion, the level and variety of emotions evoked by this portrayal, yada yada yada. You know, something like that. May have helped, may not have helped, may have helped. Even a little. Could use a little help. Maybe enough to actually get to 400 million, which it did not do. So, you know, I say all that to say this. We're about to... What up, Kendall? How you doing, my guy? We're about to go over these early social media reviews for the Fantastic Four. Spoiler alert, they're pretty fucking stellar. So, and I said all that to say this. We're about to read some dope-ass reviews. Who the fuck knows if that means a goddamn thing beyond us being like, hell yeah, I like what I'm hearing. It may mean nothing, like money-wise or opening weekend-wise or anything like that. But, you know what? At least for right now, I wouldn't mind feeling much better about Marvel. You know what I mean? Even if it's with, like, reviews that are that were already probably going to be slanted in a positive direction anyway. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so we're gonna go over some of them bitches because the direct was kind enough to okay, there we go. The direct was kind enough to aggregate for me. I love websites and Twitter channels and Reddit and shit. Although I'm like severely underutilizing Reddit, that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah, I like people that do the work aggregating this shit for me. Not even gonna lie. And so the direct generally does. So they put out this article. Obviously, it had to be last night because the embargo didn't lift till, what would that be right now? 27 and a half hours ago. Yeah. Anyway, Fantastic Four 2025. First critic reactions surface online. Why do they make it sound like they were leaked? Like, that's some weird phrasing. Critics have seen the Fantastic Four first steps in all its glory, and initial reactions are online. See, that's actually better than this, in my opinion. I'm probably nitpicking like a motherfucker. Like, I'm not going to lie. Shots and pen, getting to me a bit. Anyway. The Fantastic Four First Steps is only days away from its big screen debut. And early critics seem to love what they saw from the full movie. The Fantastic Four has a massive weight on its shoulders. This is true. Serving as the first movie in the MCU's Phase 6 slate. Yeah, that's, what was, Quantumania was the kickoff to Phase 5, was it not? Someone check me on that chat, but I'm pretty sure Quantumania was the kickoff to Phase 5. So, and Marvel Studios' debut attempt at a solo film for Marvel's first family. I know a lot of people probably read that and was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? They already had 3 others." Yeah, but the first 2 were those were all under Fox, not Marvel Studios. Marvel was associated with them. But Fox had the rights to them. Those were all Fox. Details. Okay. As it inches closer to its worldwide debut, more of its runtime is being shown to critics as they provide their early thoughts. The Fantastic Four First Steps will debut in theaters on Friday, July 25th, 2025. Directed by Matt Shackman and starring Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Evan Moss-Backrack, this feature movie will feature the titular team in an alternate reality as they work to stop the all-powerful Galactus from consuming their world. Everybody in it. Following the first full screenings of the Fantastic Four First Steps to critics, those reviewing the film shared their first reactions on X. Overall, the reviews seem to heap massive praise on the film's leading cast, while also giving credit to Marvel for the CGI put forth. That is a fucking relief. Like, let's just stop right there and say that. Marvel getting praised again for its CGI is a fucking relief. Because, as y'all are aware, we've been bagging on it a bit for a few years now. And if we haven't, plenty of others have. So, people digging the CGI, very good thing. Also included are compliments for the movie's use of family theme in the retro-futuristic 1960s setting. Yeah, I don't care about. So this is Andrew Salazar from Discussing Film. The Fantastic Four is a story about family above all else, where each member of the team is equally important. No one is underserved. The movie excels when fleshing out the various bonds between Pedro, Vanessa, Eben, and Joseph. The retro 60s aesthetic works on all fronts. See, I like this. Family above all else. Everyone's equally important, no one underserved. Fleshing out the various bonds. That's what you want to hear, especially about the Fantastic Four. Okay, so we're still on Salazar. Pedro nails Reed's stoicism and dashing brilliance. Ooh, shit. While Joseph makes Johnny feel ever so valiant. But man, I can't remember the last time I adored two Marvel heroes like Eben's Ben and Vanessa Sue. They hold the family together and ground the others when no one else can. I mean, that actually makes sense. Like, that makes sense. Sue helps. Well, they both help both the other two stay grounded. Sue helps Johnny stay grounded because sister, and, helps keep Reed stay grounded because wife. And the Thing helps Johnny stay grounded because best friend and, dueler and annoyances, I guess. I don't fucking know. Y'all know what I mean. And of course, Ben and Reed have been friends for goddamn ever. Yeah, no, that all makes sense. I like it. Phase Heroes Brandon Davis, the man that Josh has a $500 bet with. This is what he said. Fantastic Four's First Steps is visually one of the best things Marvel has ever made. Parts feel like Interstellar and demand IMAX. Galactus is awesome. Silver Surfer looks really, really good. VFX were often immaculate, cosmically and on Earth. Ooh, Matt Shackman dropped a visual feat. Well, that's good. The cast and characters work well enough in Fantastic Four, but Vanessa Kirby's Sue Storm is the movie's heart and soul. Johnny might have been my favorite character. Also, shout out to Paul Walter Hauser for stealing his screen time and bringing a great energy to the movie. Well, Brandon obviously really liked the visuals. And didn't really, the cast and characters worked well enough. But Vanessa Kirby's Sue Storm is the movie's heart and soul. Again, that only makes sense. Mother, sister, or well, soon to be mother, but wife, sister, really good friend. Got a lot to, she's got a lot of work to do, man. Like, she's a very important person for many, many different reasons. So, yeah, that's what Josh's betting opponent had to say about the movie he thinks is going to do worse. Ash Crossan from Screen Rant. Fantastic Four is visually stunning, stylish, self-contained, and easy to jump into. I had such a good time with this one. The retro futurism is such a snack. My standout is Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. Babe, I will die for you. You are perfect. Vanessa Kirby is getting a lot of praise. Y'all notice that? Vanessa Kirby is getting a lot of praise. Matt and Delia? I'm not going to mispronounce that in a way that can be very easily construed into other things. So, this guy from Next Best Picture. Many will say the Fantastic Four First Steps is fantastic, and they'll be right for several reasons. The four main cast members are excellent. Michael Giacchino's lively score is instantly memorable, and the 60s retro futuristic production design and dynamic visual effects are a delightful treat rather than an eyesore. The story's focus on the theme of family can feel a bit overdone at this point in the MCU. What the fuck? And the villains aren't the most compelling, but the cast does a lot of the heavy lifting to make you deeply care about these characters, their relationships, and the end-of-the-world stakes they face. Combined with Matt Shackman's snappy comment and storytelling, this is an intriguing and satisfying first step for Marvel's new team. Easily the best depiction of this quartet on screen to date. Like, that's hard to do. As the MCU continues to regain control of the ship and steer it closer to Doomsday. Okay, like not 100% gushing, which actually makes me feel like this is probably the most fair evaluation, at least to this point in this entire article. Now, how this person didn't find Galactus compelling, I have no idea. Now, Mole Man, but fucking Galactus, bro. How is Galactus not compelling? Like, the dude literally consumes planets. The fuck. Anyway. But still, though, like, this is actually a balanced review. I respect it. Who's this? Comic Books, Chris Killian. Fantastic Four friggin' rocks. More than any Marvel movie before it, F4 feels like Jack Kirby's imagination brought to life on the big screen. That's fair. Jack Kirby can get a little bit fantastical. Between this and Superman, 2025 might go down as the year movies finally embrace the wonderful weirdness of comics. I had my doubts going in about some of the cast, but the team chemistry works and they really do gel by the end. Go watch it in IMAX to feel Ralph Ineson's Galactus voice vibrate in your bones. Also, the retro futuristic world Shackman has put together here is stunning. I have but one gripe. Like Superman, there are some rough CGI baby moments that give you nightmares. I don't know why babies seem to be so tough for animators to get right, but I'd almost prefer the actors to wrap a football in a blanket and pretend it's a baby. Okay? I don't know. Nothing I've seen in the commercials looks anything like Baby Joey, or even worse, the fucking Ally McBeal dancing baby, fucked up looking babies. Like, nothing I've seen of Franklin in the trailers looked anywhere near that bad. But hey, who knows? Anthony Gagliardi from the Movie Podcast. The Fantastic Four is simply fantastic. Marvel's first family shines with chemistry and charisma Stan Lee would be proud. Visually incredible. Fantastic Four dazzle from start to finish. Ben Grimm brings the heart. Silver Surfer is perfection. Matt Shackman delivers one of Marvel's best. Here we go. Daniel Bautista from the Movie Podcast. Movie Podcast got a couple of them. All right. The Fantastic Four First Steps is inspiring and the definitive take on Marvel's first family. Matt Shackman redefines a new era of Marvel with an adventure that is a cosmic storm of imagination. Sweet Jesus, these people with the goddamn cap. And a future foundation for the MCU to build upon. I see what you did there, future foundation. Anyway, it's a film proudly rooted in the comics and the spirit of the 1960s, brought to life through gorgeous visuals and incredible performances. Michael Giacchino's score is triumphant and easily his best work in the MCU. See, this shit is what gets me skeptical about some of these reviews. Like, if you need to type, like, some people think they need to, A, you don't, and B, please don't. It reduces credibility. Yeah. Ryan Davids from The Hollywood Reporter. Oh, this is his entire review. I'm happy to report that Fantastic Four is good. Thanks, Brian. All right, so that's what the Direct had to share with us regarding the reviews. I mean, I could probably find more, but like, even the ones I oh, you guys see this shit though? Anyway. Fucking Benedict Cumberbatch turned 49 today. You know what that means? Do you know what that means? Chat. By the way, thanks for being here. Please hit the like, the subscribe, and the bell. Really appreciate it. Do you know what that means? That Benedict Cumberbatch just turned 49 today? Well, technically yesterday in my time zone. Do you know what that means? It means I am 9 months older than Benedict Cumberbatch. That's what that fucking means. I am older than Benedict Cumberbatch. Oh. Here's a little. I'll take this shit with a grain of salt, but I forgot about this one. This is my time to shine. Hello. For Fantastic Four First Steps, they originally planned a post-credits scene with Chris Evans as Nomad coming to warn them. Why would Nomad be coming to warn them? Anyway, then they replaced it with one featuring Doom. Now in the final version, there are 2 post-credits scenes. Guess what they are? Okay, like, if Chris Evans is going to be in an F4 post-credit scene, shouldn't it be as a multiversal Johnny Storm, like another one, outside of the one that, what's her fuzz-skinned in Deadpool and Wolverine? You know, that's still kind of fun. Okay, this is a fun one that was not in the direct. I don't know who this guy is, nor do I know who this motherfucker is that went to the movie with him. Okay. It says, I watched Fantastic Four. I was on the edge of my seat the whole movie. Whoever the fuck that is even looked to my left and said, this is so much better than super shit. Vanessa Kirby is the heart of the film, and Joseph Quinn is Johnny Storm. I can't wait to see these characters again. I mean, that seems a little shilly, right? A little bit. But on the other hand, you know. Yeah, that's pretty much it on that. So, lot of positive reviews. Now, Brooke, it might be biased against Superman, or just might be biased against that stupid ass idea. Because I like Superman as a movie, very solid movie. I give it an 8 out of 10. But I happen to agree that super shit is a bullshit idea. And should not have been in there. All I'm saying. But so at this point, chat, can we say yay? Great start to the reviews because Superman had super positive reviews. It's doing pretty well domestically. The reviews have even the early ones, even though they do tend to be a little positive leaning for the most part. You saw a couple in there that weren't like universally praising every fucking second they saw. Brandon Davis was one. I mean, he praised the visuals a lot, but he was very specific about praising the visuals and very much understating how he felt about the rest of it. Make of that what you will. And then there was that other person that, said, the characters weren't quite there for him and, the story wasn't quite there, but, overall, really good fucking movie. That's the kind of fair review that, I can respect. So here's what I'll say. I will say yay. I'm glad to see that no one is panning it at all, really. I'm sure some of those will start to float out. There's always some. It's just, very few things in this world, in any situation ever, are universally lauded. You know what I mean? But it's a good. I'll say this: it's a really good start. Put as much. Just give these as much as you think they deserve. Consideration. That's the word. Give whatever your mileage is on how genuine you think these are, then cool, roll with it. What I will say is, yeah, while some of them were very overly glazery, there were a lot of excuse me, there were a lot of similarities that, all of them pretty much said, the varying levels of glaze aside, right? Everyone agreed that the visuals were awesome. Obviously, Marvel has finally found a way to step their fucking CGI game up, because CGI being actually good came up in a lot of these reviews. The family themselves, the dynamic between the characters, pretty much all universally praised except for Brandon. But for the most part, yes. People are starting to see and say that Pedro is actually Reed and does him well. A lot of praise for Vanessa Kirby. A lot of praise for Vanessa Kirby. And a lot of praise for Ebon Moss-Backrack. They're all getting praise, but those two, I think, are getting the most praise, at least in the reviews that we went over tonight. I will say good sign. How good of a sign? It only makes sense that, your mileage will vary on that. You know what I mean? But, and let's face it, Marvel's confident enough in this movie to to release the embargo a week before it comes out. Not just a few days, but a fucking week. Okay? That's number one. That's ballsy. They could have tanked themselves if it wasn't as good as they thought. It was a ballsy ass move. It's a gangsta move, It seems to be paying off, at least according to these reviews. And lifting the embargo a week before the movie comes out wasn't just a gangsta move in terms of the risk of a shit ton of negative reviews that people get to stew on for a whole fucking week before your movie comes out. This was a gangsta move. This was some white Suge Knight shit. Because this is the first night of weekend 2 of Superman. Or at least last night. Was that... I mean, that's some gangster shit right there. That's like doubly risky. Imagine. It just... Oops. But just let's think about this, chat. Okay? So, what do we know about weekend 2 when it comes to movies? We know that it tells the true story of a movie. A movie may have a banger ass opening, but if it has a big ass fucking drop off in week 2, it's toast. Right? It's not going to make a whole shit ton. Now, unlike Jurassic World, which had Superman land right on its weekend 2, and it did affect it, by the way, just like I said. Superman doesn't have like direct competition like that. Fantastic Four doesn't come out till week 3 for Superman. Okay, so Superman, has 2 weeks off basically. To, get the majority of its bucks because here come the Fantastic Four. And Feige knows exactly how important weekend 2 is. He knows how weekend 2 is for a film. This is information he is very much aware of, right? So how fucking white Suge Knight is it? For him to drop the social media embargo 1 week before the movie comes out, potentially giving people a whole week to stew on negative reviews and not show the fuck up next weekend, while also simultaneously, regardless of if they're good or bad, finding a way to steal buzz from Superman on what is the most important weekend of them all. Even more so than opening. Second weekend can determine if you have legs, which can make up for a weaker opening. It's happened before. I think Guardians 3 happened. Guardians 3 didn't open super well, but it had like a ridiculously low drop off and then legged out to what, 800 million? Something like that. So the second weekend is, barring a completely ridiculously abysmal opening, of course. But yeah, the second weekend overall is the more important even than the opening. The second weekend goes well enough, you can make up. Second weekend goes like shit, it don't matter how well you open, you're done in like 2-3 weeks. Out the theater, toast, ain't nobody watching your shit. So that's a big gangster, man. However those reviews came out, that's what people are going to be stewing on for a fucking week. Fortunate for you, they turned out to be like this. If they were the opposite, you know what we're looking at, guys? If these reviews were the opposite of what we just read, like they all hated this fucking movie, you know what we have on our hands again? Joker Folie Adieu Part 2. We have the Marvel version of Joker 2. If these reviews were shit. This movie would be DOA. Like, balls. Big fucking balls to do this. And also, potentially, not a guarantee, but let's face it, Hollywood is fucking cutthroat. We're dealing with pretty intelligent motherfuckers, no matter how you may feel about them. Gunn is not stupid. He's weird as fuck, but he's not dumb. But he's not dumb. These motherfuckers might make decisions we fucking hate, and they might act in ways we think are dumb, but they are far from dumb. Okay. So, if not literally Feige himself, some executive there is like being the super cold analytical one and like, okay, if we do this, this could happen. Oh, but this too? Ooh, this could be fun. Someone in Marvel knew everything I just said. That holy shit, whatever these early reviews say is going to be the story for the next 7 days about this movie. And B, good or bad, we're going to get a pop out of this that is going to take away attention in the zeitgeist from Superman's second weekend, the most important weekend of any film. As Josh would put it, Kevin Feige went white Suge Knight last night. Like big time. Kevin Feige went white Suge Knight. At least I think so. What do you guys think? Let me know. And by the way, chat, we are on your time now because I am done with my planned subject. We got that little hint of the Punisher earlier, which is cool. I think I would say it's confirmed we're getting Manucci as the bad person for this Punisher special presentation. The only question is, has she already been stumped? And if she has not, when will she get stumped? When will Manucci get the Anakin treatment? What did Manucci say when asked about the latest shipment of drugs? I don't know. I'm stumped. And then we got those little bits of videos of John Bernthal doing Punisher shit in the what do you call it? In the bulletproof tactical vest with the skull painted on it. Mortal Kombat trailer was dope. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I mean, if you didn't think it was dope, cool, good for you. You know, you don't need to go to fucking theater, but shut your fucking mouth when you're talking. But it was pretty sick. Yeah, I stole that from Josh. People say things that are good, like and entertaining, and are also fun, and you know, my kind of humor. I will appropriate them like nobody's business. You want to see Manucci get stumped on Disney Plus? That would actually be cool. That would show us Marvel as the first to go brutal when needed. You know what, Brooke? That's a good point. Yeah, I know. I still can't believe they cast Carl Urban as Johnny Cage, but he is so great in The Boys. That is 100% true. But I was like, I don't know. How's that going to work? At least for me, based on this trailer, they fucking found a way to make it work. No, that's just me. But I dug it. What do you guys think? Any more thoughts on anything else we talked about, or just, you know, something like, what? Where's this motherfucker at on this? How'd he miss it? You know, if you saw something, I should know or should be talking about, or for whatever reason want to hear me talk about, get my take on, get in that chat. Get in that chat. Get in that chat. Damn it, it didn't work. You're going to see it on opening night and then again on Sunday. I'm trying to see it either Friday night or Saturday morning. Gotta figure out which. Gotta figure it out. Gotta figure it out. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Like, me personally, I don't know about you guys. Like, you can let me know in the chat if you want. Like, for me, I didn't really need these reviews to get hyped for the movie. I've been getting plenty of hype off the movie, for the movie, with, like, the trailers and clips. You know? I mean, don't get me wrong. These are I love reading reviews like this for a movie I really hope is good for a wide variety of reasons. But like for me, I didn't really need them. Like I already had my hype. They could not have positively affected my hype any. They could have negatively affected my hype. But as for being able to like raise my hype even more, I didn't need them, and they didn't really do it. But that's how I know I didn't need them. Think the post credits of this movie will be important? Yeah, 100%. 100%. Especially one at least. All right. RDJ Dr. Doom. All right, chat. Go ahead and get on fucking out of here. We are getting closer to seeing Dr. Doom one movie at a time. Yep, pretty much. Well, we only have 2 movies till Doomsday. We have F4 and Spider-Man 4. That's it. Then it's Doomsday. Yep. Know what he is. All right, y'all. Let me get the fuck on out. Much love. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here and engaging and listening and watching. Whatever you're doing, live, replay, what have you, thank you. Hit all the buttons. And, yeah, have a good rest of your weekend. And please come back Wednesday night at 9. We go 9 on Wednesday night because it's a weekend. Go 10 on Saturday because, A, I don't have to get up on Sunday generally. And B, not too many of you show up between 9 and 10 when I used to start at 9, so no point. So 9 on Wednesdays, 10 on Saturdays. Trying to keep you as up to date as I can on all the nerdy shizzle. So thanks for being here. Much appreciated. It's dope. Come back. I hope you had it. I really do. Thanks. See you. Bye-bye. Oh, Chad. Hope y'all had a good time tonight. I did. You guys are the best. Have a good rest of your weekend. Be safe. Come back Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And remember this. Wherever you're at, whoever you're with, always keep it dirty. Much love, y'all. Bye-bye.